Now to other news. You've probably seen the horrifying images and videos coming out of Ukraine. Civilians in bomb shelters trying to stay alive while the Ukrainian army tries to fight back and keep the country in one piece. That is, as Russia tries to tear it apart. We know some Ukrainians are fleeing, and tonight we're hearing from a young Ukrainian woman who may have to seek refuge right here in Buffalo. 2 News' Daniel Church has her story.
Most people can wake up from a nightmare.
This had been just 3 days, but for us, this feels like years.
Ukrainians like 24-year-old Anastasia Schmal are living one.
We're sleeping in a schedule, so like I would sleep for 2 hours and I would wake up, monitor what's going on, whether, do we hear sirens? Do we hear any shootings? Do we hear anything? Do we hear explosions?
As Anastasia spoke with me, she was hiding in a bathroom. She asked me not to disclose where she is in Ukraine for her safety. Right now, it's an endless battle for her friends and even her parents, who are in a more dangerous part of the country, to stay alive, creating an endless feeling.
This is dangerous. It's life-sucking. It's traumatizing.
No human should ever have to experience.
My friend she had her house bombed yesterday. You never know when your house is going to be next.
To find some peace, Anastasia is thinking about staying with family here in Buffalo.
It's just a big number of people leaving. And, I've been to Buffalo just recently last year. So that was my first thought and my first choice.
But she says even getting out of Ukraine isn't easy with the whole country turned into a war zone. Anastasia says the hope is Russia will be stopped before she'd even have more time to think about starting a new life in Western New York.
I don't worry about not having money, not having a job. I don't really worry about that because everything that you can think about right now is, what's going to happen next.
Anastasia hopes Ukraine will stand on top in the end, but she says it's going to require the whole world to come together by spreading awareness about the war, getting local legislators to push for tougher sanctions against Russia, helping to get a no-fly zone over Ukraine, and donating to the Ukrainian army.
I feel like if every state in the U.S. and every country in Europe and in the world would have this one big protest against war and against Russia, that would mean something to our government.
Meanwhile, the people of Ukraine.
We're funding the army. We're making up our own weapons. We're signing up for our army.
Are just trying to protect one another. And most of all, their country, their home.
My friends are, shooting Russian tanks from their literal house windows. Everybody that I know is doing something.
Danielle Church, Channel 2 News.